Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another edition of African Americans Ain't Africans, a talk show that proves without a shadow of a doubt that the so-called African American didn't come to America in the trunk of a ship. I'm your host, the Indigenous One, and today we're going to talk about the terms that we use on a daily basis, these terms that we use to incarcerate ourselves, really. And today we're going to be joined by Rick Moon, and he's going to be explaining the words to us. And what we're trying to do here at African Americans Ain't Africans, instead of repeating the same old bullshit that we repeat all the time, we're trying to give you new avenues. If you don't want to use them, pass them on to your children, because you can't pass on to them that what doesn't work. Okay, so we're going to be showing you these terms that we use, and in the groups and in social media, this is all we call ourselves. We call ourselves all these different names, but none of them explains who we are or what we're supposed to do. And so we go living by these titles that other people have conjured up. And that's why you see the life we're living now, why it's like it is now. Because we're being somebody else's sock puppet. We're not indigenous. Our minds, our thoughts doesn't come from nature. Our thoughts and our ideals come from somebody else. And it's normally to put them in a better light, to just use your energy, and everybody sees what's happening. They're using our energy against us. So we're going to go through these different terms. And first I want to introduce Rick Moon, because he's going to come with it. Rick Moon, what's happening?
Hey, how's everybody doing out there in America? I hope everybody ready for this, because we're going to have a real good show. And I can't wait to get started and do this one. Thanks for having me on.
If you can hear Rick Moon, if the listeners who are listening, if you can hear Rick Moon, can you hit 1, please, on the computer? Hit 1 if you can hear him, okay. They can hear you, cool. All right, man, so listen, there's a whole bunch of terms indigenous people go by because of the foreign influence. So we're just going to pull out 10 today. If we can squeeze in a couple of more, we will. But we want to show you how all these terms link up and what they intend to do to the indigenous people. So Rick Moon, you have the floor.
Yes, okay. Like the indigenous one said, what we're here to talk about is a lot of these terms that indigenous people love to use, and that really work against us. And what we're going to be focusing on is the meaning of these words and how these words work against us. We're also going to talk about what some of these words mean in law, and how some of these words have different meanings to certain groups of people. And then, we'll also try to give you alternative words that might be better for you to use, instead of these words. And if we can just kind of go ahead and get into it from there. And the first word is the one that I feel that is the most talked about and most cursed word. It is. Oh, and another thing before I start, there was an old saying about sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. That may be true, but words can get you hurt though. And when we talk about some of these words, and we'll try to kind of show you that how they hurt you too. And to get on to the first word we're going to talk about is, like I say, the most used one I think that we use is black. Now, the etymology of the word black, now these are just some of the words that are synonyms of the word black in etymology. Pale, in law, black actually means slave. One of the meanings of black is slave. As a matter of fact, there was a law in 1699 that said all so-called black are considered slaves forever. And even during the times when President Obama was the president, he even told in the whole country that black has no standing in law. Another meaning of black is dead, because it's colorless, it's nothing. And let me give you a definition of what's called black law. Any series of laws passed before the Civil War discriminating against free Negroes who wanted to immigrate north. So, but when our people look at this word black, we think it's some kind of race.
Black power.
Yeah, and where has black power gotten us?
Nowhere.
I mean, you know, and another thing about calling yourself black as a race, you know, if for people to respect you, you have to be connected to a land. You have to be connected to a language, a culture. Where's black land? What is black language? What is a black culture? I mean, somebody answer me, you know, anybody can, I wish, you know, that word curses us. And another thing, when I was talking about black meaning dead, that's exactly one of the reasons why when these cops kill these brothers and sisters for no reason, they go to court and they get off lightly or off period. That's because black means dead. And you can't kill nothing that's already dead.
Yay!
But this is the most overused and spellbound. This is really the biggest one that keep the spell on us. What you think about that indigenous one?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, and we've been saying this for years, and you know, and the reason we're doing this because we want everybody to see. Listen, we can't keep this stuff is out here. You have to know the definition of these words. You have to know the meaning of these words, what these words were created for. You can't take something like I saw something where a guy say, well, you know what us black people do? We take a word and we flip it and make it and for it to use for what we want to use for. No, idiot. That's not what it's used for. Other people create words and give them to you because you don't create your words. Your arrogance prohibits you from creating your own words, your own language, your own time, your own way of looking at things. And everybody around you, Chinese got a whole new calendar. Arab people got a whole new calendar. People from the subcontinent have a whole calendar. And we have nothing. And then we try to talk in their terms to us, and all you do is confuse us. One more thing about this word black, and it's very important. While we calling ourselves black and throwing up the black fist and doing all this coon shit that we do, you have to remember that these other people in their cultures, when they pass down stories and myth, what is the monster always like in their culture and myth? What's the monster? They're always black. So you think you crying and praying and sniveling and snobbling to them, they don't care.
Right.
They don't
You
care.
could also look in their dictionaries and look at all the roots, all the words that are they put with black and their meanings, and you see most of them are negatives. Matter of fact, just about all of them have negative connotations to them.
So when you're using these terms, no, not just what they mean to you, because in the overall scheme of things, you're just a footmat to the regular culture. That's what they look at you as. You may look at yourself as a mound or some great Black Panther or something, but other people look at you, and you can tell when you go in their shops how they treat you. So black, they teach that they're monsters. They teach that they're people and their stories, their myths, all that stuff, that those monsters are black. And when you get up and volunteer yourself as being that, it's not making us look good at all. So I would suggest that we stop using the term black.
I suggest highly that you stop using the term black, because like I said, you cannot be prosecuted for anything that's already dead. Okay, here's another word that I think that we like to use a lot, that I think curses us too, and it's the people always talking about we people of color. And what people of color means is anybody that's not white. So everybody who is not white is us. And that's how we look at that.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Yeah. My problem with that is everybody don't look at you like that. I mean, look at all this. Okay, the Chinese are considered people of color because they're not white. What do they care about you? These Arabs, even these Africans, they come over here. They don't care nothing about you. But we want to be linked with all of them. These Spanish people coming over here, everybody. We want to be linked with all of them. All of we people of color. We all got the same enemy. And at the same time, they can't stand you either.
What do you think that stems from, Rick? Because that's something I never understood.
What you talking about? I mean, I ain't quite got an understanding of what you're saying.
How we have this "we are the world" attitude towards everybody when everybody's over here dogging you out.
Oh, well, one thing is we don't want to be alone. We always want somebody to be with us, and anybody. Okay, everybody knows who the top priority is, who's running everything. Anything that they do to anybody else, whether they have something to do with you or not, they want to put us all in the same boat. You know, oh man, they do. Man, look what they did. Look what they did to them Chinese people over there in China. Or look what they did to them Arabs over there. But at the same time, these same people you talking about running whole countries. What countries do we run here in America?
We don't run anything.
But just because they ain't white, we want to be right there with them. And just because they have problems, you know, from folks who think they're superior, that is our problems too. Their problem is our problem. Excuse me, you were saying something, Indigenous? I'm sorry about that.
No, man, you're absolutely right. People of color, and people are not colors. People look like the land from which they come from.
Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Okay. With that, let me give you a definition of color. With that, the appearance or semblance of a thing as distinguished from the thing itself. Let me give you some synonyms of the word color. Concealment, deceit, deception, falseness, hidden. All this stuff is concerned. That's what color means. In law, color of law refers to an appearance of a legal power that may operate in violation of law.
And then if I showed you a person, a black person, many of you will be mad at me. Because I've done it before. I posted in the group a picture of a so-called black man. You are not the color of your shoes. You are not a color. And we can't move on from that. I mean, you people have been learning this stuff and they still call themselves people of color. We can't, we have to move on. You can't be in the third grade forever. Oh, we don't do that no more? You don't call women bitches and hoes no more? Okay, we call them something else. And if you look at the music, 30 years ago, they were calling women other things, and the women acted a whole lot different. So these words and terms that we use are there to destroy us. It's not there to help us. And we, with our arrogance, I mean, they got brothers up there, man, who think they invented these words. So he's right. These we're not colors. Things are colors. I mean, this is simple. This is simple shit. Things are colors. Things that you have to move. Things can't move themselves. Things can't think. Things can't have children. This is what we compare ourselves to when we talk. And so when people do shit to us, all they gotta say, well, damn, they said they was dead. They said they was a thing. And that lessons they send us because we refuse to learn. We refuse to get new information, pass it down to the children to make sure everybody's on here. I want to do what I want to do, nigga. You don't tell me what to do. That's our attitude about stuff. And we're getting wiped out. I'm sorry, Rick.
No, that's okay. Hey, tell it like it is.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go ahead and get to the next word. Melanated. And this is one that people don't talk about that much. They think it's cool. But when we're talking about melanated, let's talk about what melanin is. What melanin is any various type of black, brown, reddish brown, or yellow pigment. So another thing with that, everybody got melanin. Even Europeans have melanin. They just don't have as much. Or they don't. I'll take that back because everybody basically got the same amount of cells to produce melanin, but they just don't produce it as fast or as much as other folks. But that word. With the problem I got with that word is we use it as our people. We use it just like we use people of color. Anybody who ain't white. And again, all melanated people like you. It's the same thing as far as that goes. And we can move on to the next word. Next word, minority. Another word we love to use. And I think a lot of times we use it because to get out of something, to get out of being responsible. You know, most people who consider themselves minority are people who don't want to do nothing.
Right.
Who's scared to do something.
You know what my take on minority is? This is how twisted they got us on that word. Like we're the lower number of people here. Like we've been 13% of the population, what, for the past 100 years? And I just want to ask the audience, and I hope you guys answer this. If we were the minority, how are all these other people over here getting so rich off of only 13% of the population? How are all these other nations becoming billionaires and trillionaires if we're the minority? No, we're the majority of people, and that's the problem we have. You listen to what other people tell you about yourself. Like they got. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
And the thing matters worse. They tell you all the time that you are the biggest consumers in the world. So why would they want to be around you? Why wouldn't they be the majority?
It's and that's what I mean about the African American. There are people made up. They're not autochthonous. They didn't spring from the earth. They spring from the earth, but somebody got a hold of them right out of their mama's womb and trained them to be what they are today, African Americans. Because I guarantee you, I got $100. Anybody out there want to put it down that your grandmama wasn't called an African American when she was a little girl? And this is what I'm saying. These type. This stuff don't even make sense. What we doing?
Right.
Don't make sense at all.
And we're gonna talk about that one too. That word too. But to get back to minority, okay, if you look up the word minor, because it's a root word of the word minor. Minor means lesser in importance, seriousness, or significance. A person who does not have the capacity to do anything without supervision. But that's what we call ourselves.
And we call ourselves that with an attitude.
Yeah.
You would scratch somebody's eyeballs out if they said, hey, we should use that word. Fuck you, nigga. I can use whatever word I want to use. That's how we serious, because that's what I get all the time. I'm like, dude, look at what you're doing. Just look up. You have a computer in your pocket. Just go pull up what the word means.
Right. And here's a legal term. An ethnic, religious, or other defined groups of people who may face discrimination from the majority as a result of their differences. It don't say nothing about them being the lesser amount. Although they do mention majority, but majority means the ones that's running things. Major is always at the top, right? Anything you major is are usually looked at as the most important.
And we teach our children to call themselves minority.
Right?
Yeah, okay.
And see how it means two different things to certain groups of people.
Right.
See, to us it means that we're the lesser amount, but to them it means we can't take care of ourselves, so we need to show them, and we need to take care of them.
That's why they have different schools for your children and their children.
That's right.
That's why they want to have you segregated. They can teach themselves one thing and teach you something else because the African Americans are too inept to teach themselves. They don't make their own schools. They don't say to themselves, our children need to catch up with the rest of the world. They don't say that. They say, let's leave it to somebody else. And that's damn near every single last one of them.
Right. Hey, and let me give you an example of something like that. I done told this story before, but it's been a while though since I told it though. But because it's been years ago. As a matter of fact, it's been close to like 15 years ago. I had a friend that I used to work with. He was engaged to this girl that had a son that was a football player. In high school, he was good. He was real good. He was he went to the University of Louisville for 3 years, and he was making all conferences about every year. He didn't finish though. He only played 3 years there. But there was an article in the newspaper. Now the school that he plays for is really the only so-called black school in Charlotte that's still open, high school. All the other black schools here in Charlotte, they closed down. So they got a lot of tradition. And they was talking about this guy in the newspaper. And what he did in a certain football game. So I called my coworker who was dating his mother. And I told him to look in the newspaper, they got an article about him. So now he lives on another side of town where it's a lot of Europeans live. Now it's a few of us that live in his neighborhood, but it's a lot of other folks that live in the neighborhood too. It's mixed. He got his newspaper and he couldn't find it. He said, "Yo, man, it's not in my newspaper." And it clicked on me right there. It depends on what side of town you on to what you get. And it works the same way with us. What means one thing to us means something else to them. And we don't see it. Okay? Next word. African. Another word that we like to use to call ourselves. Well, if you knew the true meaning of Africa, you probably stop using it. Number one, it was named after a Roman, a European. That's where the name came from. And the actual meaning of an African is a conquered person. Now, if you look it up in the dictionary, it'll say a person from the continent of Africa. What people in the so-called continent of Africa call themselves Africans?
None.
Tell me.
None.
see, now you want to say, well, what about the ones that come over here? The ones that come over here are trained to say it, that they Africans. That's how they get over here.
And that's how they can trick you also. So for people who want an example of how that works over here, let's say Washington, D.C. Let's say Charlotte, North Carolina. Charlotte is named after somebody. Let's say any of the names over here, Baltimore, Lord Baltimore, that's named after him. That's how they did it. Whenever they go to take something or conquer somebody, they name the land and the people their subjects. And you know, we should really know this by now.
Right, but you know, we want, hey, and another thing about us, we are so convinced that everything came from Africa. Everything is African, and all this and stuff. That's where civilization started. African. The whole concept was created by Europeans. People who are not of this planet. And if you notice, I call them aliens because I don't care what nobody say. And can't none of y'all convince me. I don't care what you say. None of y'all can convince me that Europeans are from this planet. You can't convince me of that.
Why can't we convince you?
Because I try to look at things through nature's eyes. Anything indigenous to anything anywhere in the world abides by the laws of nature. These knuckleheads tear up and they destroy everything they step their foot on. Those cannot be people of this planet. They can't be. Now, to be honest with you, I can't tell you where they come from. I'll be honest with you. I can't tell you what planet they come from or where they came from. Well, I'm convinced that they ain't from this one. Because when you don't destroy what created you. Right or wrong?
Absolutely right. What the chat room say. So yeah, Rick, go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. Next word. African American. What an African American is a conquered American. Because I told you what an African is. So an African American is a conquered American. And like the indigenous one was saying earlier, people wasn't calling themselves that. Actually, until the late 1980s with Missy Jessie. You know, him and some more. I don't like to call them coons because raccoons are indigenous animals to America. So I don't like to call them coons. I like to call them sellouts because that's what they are. And to me, it's an embarrassment to raccoons to put them in the same boat with them.
Yeah. I mean, this is what I'm not getting. How do, after every generation, we just refuse to learn? So like, okay, so let's say the people, the civil rights crowd, they're sitting down now. What do their children have to offer to their offspring and the offspring that's coming? I mean, really. How come? Here's an example. Let me give you an example of how the African American works. Many of you have read the story about Papa John's making discriminatory, racial epitaphs to indigenous people, saying blah, blah, blah. Shaq, the basketball player that everybody loves, went in and got on their marketing team and is now going to market Papa John's to the historically black colleges and universities. That's what African Americans would do. That's what African Americans do all the time in everything. And the majority of people love them for doing that. They think they're wonderful. Wouldn't it make more sense if Shaq went in and got all with all the HBCUs and came up with a pizza rest idea that we would buy and support and implement that into around all the black colleges first, then spread out to the other communities? Wouldn't that make more sense? If an Asian person do it, we would, oh my God, you're brilliant, you're a genius. If somebody else did it, we jump up and down and be happy for them. If we do it, we won't even go support it. That's an African American. So this is what I'm saying. The things that we do are never, African Americans don't do things to benefit themselves. African Americans do things to benefit others, right or wrong. That's what they do. Don't get upset at me because I'm saying it. This is what you do every day. Not only do you do it every day, you do it with arrogance. Like I can do what I want to do, nigga. You don't tell me what to do. That's how we are with it. Those people will not last long, y'all. That's what that.
And that presents the same question that I was asking about black. Where's Africa America? What is the African American language? What is the African American culture? But we rather call ourselves that. Believe me, nobody in the world respects that because they know better. Even these so-called Africans over there on the mainland.
It's been said before, if you want to get a look into somebody's culture, look at what they're reading and writing. Look at what they're reading and writing. Also, look at what kind of music they're putting out. Look at what kind of movies they like. Look at their arts. Look at what they're doing in the art world. And you can tell where they're going.
That's right. And as a matter of fact, myself and Indigenous was talking about I'm doing a program tomorrow, and we would definitely be talking about that in that program, and we'll also be talking about nature too. So we haven't decided whether we was going to do it exactly because I know Indigenous one got a few things that he gotta take care of. But hopefully he'll get time to sit down and we can talk again tomorrow. But anyway, getting to the next word. The next word is America itself. America. Okay. So you look up the word America and it'll say it pertains to the United States. See, that's what they want you to believe. That when you say that America and United States are synonymous. But America is actually the continent of North and South America. All of that is America. Not North America, not South America is all America. There is nothing that separates North and South America. Nothing. And don't say the Panama Canal, because the Panama Canal runs straight through the middle of Panama. One side of Panama borders Colombia, South America. And that Panama was man-built, man-made. So once upon a time, that was Earth that was there. So there was nothing separating North and South America. So it's all America. And to include all those Caribbean islands, even Greenland, even a lot of people say even those Pacific islands, because a lot of the people like in Hawaii, Samoa, and all those places have a lot of familiarities with the California. So some people, and although it is considered North America, being that Hawaii is a state, and Samoa and all those places are so-called United States possessions, which actually really is the United States. Because really, the United States is Washington D.C. and all of these possessions that they have, like Puerto Rico, Guam, Samoa, Virgin Islands, Martinique, all these other possessions. That's what the actual United States is. The actual states are actually countries. That's why you got a state and a federal. But a lot of people associate America with the United States, but it's the United States, it's the crooked ones. But because they associate America with it, then America's crooked too. As a matter of fact, America's not even their word, and a lot of us believe that. It's not even their word. It's our word. It came from us.
On the words, I think something is important to remember. A lot of the words you use, remember, is called American English. A lot of these words that we use today aren't even their words, they're your words. But you don't recognize them because vowels have been added. So if you want to find out your words, take words and take out the vowels and say them like that, and you'll get closer to your language than anything. I'm trying to make this simple as I can. A lot of the words that you use are your words. They put the vowels in to make them their words. That A-E-I-O-U shit, take the vowels out when pronouncing some of these words, and you'll get a closer representation to the language that you spoke.
And to add on to that, even if you talk about something like, a lot of people think that all these last names that we have are European. The Europeans created nothing. Nothing. Everything they got from you. They created nothing. How many? Go over to England and find me somebody over that last name Washington. Them crowns that came like George Washington, they took those names once they got here. A lot of those last names. And you also have to remember all the indigenous people all over the world are like us. Europe ain't always been them people that we so-called Europeans. Like I told you, I don't think they're not from this planet anyway. That ain't always how Europe has been. There's we have plenty of pictures, even in the group of indigenous Europeans. so-called Europeans, that is. So we gotta, you gotta know these words and how they're being used and who they're intended for. And I'm gonna go to the next word from there. Native American, another word we love to use. I'm Native American. A Native American ain't nothing but a $5 Indian from Siberia.
What is the first school we all went to? We all went to something called Sunday school. And in Sunday school, we learned about Jesus and the nativity scene. This is what I mean. We learn this stuff, but somehow we just throw it out. What is the nativity scene? The nativity scene is when Joseph, Mary, and Jesus left Nazareth and traveled to wherever they were going, and Jesus were born in Bethlehem. Jesus was native to Bethlehem. Native just means born there. Jesus, I know it's a story, it's not real, nothing in the Bible is real. Jesus was from Nazareth. He was indigenous to Nazarene. We can't keep getting these terms confused, because if we keep teaching our kids that's how it is, what they gonna think? I mean, where they gonna be in 40 years when a new crop of people come over here and they gonna be confused like we confused now?
Yeah. Hey. And check this out. Legal definition. A body of Indians of the same or similar race united in a community under one leadership or government. Same or similar race.
That's how they put themselves in. That's how they interject themselves in.
That's how the $5 Indian got in.
That's how they got casinos and you don't. They're foreigners, and you can see that. But guess what you do? You don't make a fuss about it. I'm going to the casino. You will go take them millions of dollars a year. And we don't, and as a group of people, we don't even think, how aren't we doing that? Because we think, oh, we're all these other foreigners and we don't have no right to it.
Right. So what this legal definition is telling me is you don't have to be an Indian to be an Indian.
That's what it's saying.
Right. So that brings us to the next word. Perfect word to follow. Tribe. I know I'm gonna get some flack on this one.
No, explain what it is.
Okay. A tribe is a social division consisting of families linked by a social, economic, religious, or bloodlines with common culture with a recognized leader. Now that's a definition that the dictionary gives you. But that's bullshit. Tribes are families, and tribes are linked by bloodline only. To all the social and economic, those are created by the people of those bloodlines. And the religious part too, you want to, even though our people really weren't religious, but you know, all those are created. All those are created by someone. Bloodlines are not. Bloodlines are natural. So we weren't tribes, we were families. And check out the legal definition of a tribe. Defined in the United States, not America, the United States, for some federal government purposes to include only tribes that are federally recognized by the Bureau of Indian Affairs or the BIA. How about that? How about that? Defined in the United States for some federal government purposes. So all these so-called tribes in federally recognized tribes are exactly what they are, federal Indians. Because they can only do what the BIA tells them. Or what the government tells them. That's what they are. All these old reservations, all of them is federal Indians. They don't control nothing. The maps will tell them what they can have. That ain't how our people conducted their business. Hey, and the matriarch was always the leader, the recognized leader. These tribes, you got a lot of these tribes. You got these males heading them. The matriarch was always the recognized leader. No, she didn't make all the rules or anything. She, of course, she didn't do everything herself, but she was the one that gave the permission for everyone else to go on with what they had planned. And then you got a lot of these so-called tribal people who won't even accept everybody into their tribe. Anybody into their tribe. That's why I say we weren't tribes, we were nations. Those were family names, all those so-called tribal names, those were family names. Those are names given by the family.
Jennifer Gauman asked, how is that? Because she doesn't understand. She doesn't understand what we're talking about. Could you explain how?
What you mean? And what she asking about?
What you just said.
About the tribe?
Yeah, about how are the tribes, how are those family names? Because when you were talking about it, she asked the question, how?
First of all, if you look at, okay, I'll use my home for example. I'm from Charlotte, North Carolina, born and raised. All my people are right around here. We have property that dates back to the early 1800s. So I really can't prove no slavery. And what I'm saying is that was to the family, and the family would take in. Wait a minute, hold up, I'm messing myself up. I'm lost. lost the question again. Tell me again, because I lost my track.
How are the names, the family names? You said the tribes, the names of the landmass. How are those family names?
Okay, because your people were always there, and those names go back hundreds of years. Like I said, where I'm from, in Charlotte, everything around. I'm Catawba. Everything around here in Charlotte is called Catawba. There's a Catawba River. There's a Catawba College. There's a Catawba doggone grocery store. Everything. It's you'll find so much stuff around here called Catawba, and this is where all of my people are. My whole family, just about. We got a little sprinkled out in other places, but most of 90% of my family is right here, and they always been right here. So if they always been right here, and I know that the Europeans didn't bring those names over here with them, then we had to make up all those names. Those were our names. Did that explain a little better?
It explained it.
Yeah, and like I said, the only recognized tribes is the ones that BIA controls. And everybody knows that all of those so-called federally recognized tribes, most of them aren't even indigenous people. Well, and that brings up. This is word number 10. It's the last one, y'all. Another word we like to call ourselves, and these are the ones who still into the European thinking. Descendants of slaves. And people say, and what kills me with this one is, people say it proudly. And I'm thinking, who want to be a slave? Who in the heck would be proud of being slaves? I don't get that. I don't see nothing to be proud about that. Will you?
No.
But we love to call ourselves that. And then, and now during these days, now the big talk is reparations, which ain't no good. It ain't nothing but to repair something. That's what it means. You got these reparations and stuff that coming around, and a lot of these people, like myself, for instance, I can't prove slavery in my family. I can't prove it. So I'm not getting anything, because believe me, you're gonna have to be able to prove it. But I bet you there's a whole lot of Europeans that can prove it.
You're also going to have to prove, too, that you were snatched from Africa and brought over here, which nobody can prove. So you see how long they take an idea and they run it 30, 40, 50, 60, 100 years. And we still arguing about stuff, but we can't come together on what to do with ourselves. It's not a good look.
Right. Right, it's not. And so now let's talk a little bit I gave y'all all these words, and I gave you why I don't particularly care for them, and some of them I told you how they work against us and stuff like that. So it wouldn't be fair to give words that I feel are appropriate for us. Number one, we got the census coming up in 2020. It's something that's very important that's coming up. And those of you that are filling out the census, this is my preference. Now, and I'll tell you why it's my preference. I prefer that we put ourselves on the census as Amerindian. And the reason why I say Amerindian is because if you take, and I'm thinking about doing a show about this too, tell you what a lot of these words mean too, how they are used. But the American Indian, that's fine and dandy for some people, but not for all people. Because if you go back to 1705, American Indians were only males. Only males were American Indians. Females were Negroes. That's why I don't prefer to use that. That's the main reason why I prefer not to use that. And Amerindian means the Indians of America, which that's who we are. We are from the soil of America. We come from the soil. That's why everything you go in the forest, which is the natural environment in America. That's why everything you see is the same color as you. You see the same colors as you. The animals the same color as you. The doggone soil is the same color as you. It's for all the living things. And they also, if you look at the trees have like the same texture. If you look at a dude with dreadlocks and you look at the texture of those trees, it looks almost the same. That's how you know you're at home. And you blend in with everything. And you can look at yourself. You can get somebody, one of your family members, and take them there, and y'all just look at each other and see how you blend in with that whole background in the forest. See all these refineries and hospitals and all this old technology stuff ain't always been here. But people was eating, people was healing, and people was doing things. So how was they doing that? And why we it's hard for females to have babies in hospitals now. So my daughter just had a baby. I was scared as I don't know what. I mean, he turned out fine and everything, but I was scared. Because I'm scared of hospitals, and I watched him like a hawk. Because they actually kept him in there a little longer because he was having trouble breathing. And my daughter had a C-section, so she wasn't feeling well. So while her husband was watching her, I was watching my grandson. Stayed with him for 2 days, watched every move that he made. Found out some interesting stuff while I was there too. So but other words like Pronounce that for me, Ken. I can't see.
Autochthonous.
Autochthonous. I like that. That's a good word. That's a good word. Indigenous is a good word.
What about Aboriginal?
I don't particularly like Aboriginal. I like original.
Yeah, that's what I don't get. Why take original and make it something else? I don't get it.
Right. Although it can be used in law, Aboriginal, I don't particularly like it. Like I said, because a lot of the perfect air means not, against, without, away from. So when I look at that, like, okay, what's the opposite of normal? Abnormal, right?
Right.
So if you're normal, but if you're the opposite, that means something wrong with you. Now you abnormal. That's why I don't like using aboriginally.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, Jennifer Guaman, the reason we look Asian is because of the land bridge theory. We don't look Asian, and that's not why you would look Asian, because of a land bridge theory. You see a theory
and
that.
And number two, you was here before any Asian anyway, your people.
And this is what I'm saying about how we are in our thinking. We say stuff that don't make a bit of sense, and we'll pass it on to our children. And when our children talk to somebody 20 years down the line, they'll say, it's like you see in all these ads where these women are getting into these Ubers. These women are getting to these Ubers, and they're trying to take these women to some place, probably to get their organs. We cannot be dumb, you guys. We can't be dumb. And we think it's a cool thing. And we can't. Because other people, when you come over here and talk and say the things that you say, other people say, they don't even know what the hell they talking about. Let's take advantage of them. And that's what happens. And of course, we are always on our emotional rants. And so when other people come over, they see how we act. And they act in a way to counteract that, to make you their property or whatever they're going to do to you. And if you notice that all these people are coming all from all over the world, why are they coming from all over the world? Because their homelands are fucked up. This one hasn't been invaded and ran over as much as over in Europe and in Asia and Africa. So the people are coming over here, they're sickly because they done killed their environment, and they need hearts. They need lungs. Who got the hearts and lungs? You. But we walking around here confused, twisted, and dumb. And people see that, and they take advantage of it. And so we just want to do this little thing to show you the terms and words that we use when we speaking to people. We can't be not knowing what we talking about. We can't never know, because every time you talk to an African American, they never know anything. Never. Other people see that. I'm right by a college now. What the college people ask me, they like, why are all these foreigners coming over driving, Mercedes-Benz SUVs, and we got to take the bus? Because you don't sell hair to them to wear on their heads. Now, the next time you out, look and see what they sell you and what you sell them. You'll see that everything you wear, you bought it from a foreigner, and they don't buy anything from you. You don't even use your own land mass and your own natural resources to make the things you need. And you bragging you a black man. I'm going to introduce you guys to a brother that's going to come on and speak. This brother, he's one of these black dudes, and he say he got the information for her. His name is Hotep Melanin El Bay. and he gonna be coming to talk to y'all soon. This brother's a straight clown, and he thinks he knows everything. And when you hear him talk, he don't know nothing, but he thinks he has all this knowledge, and and this is what these people change. This is what they teach in college. That's what I say. Shaq going to black colleges, getting them to buy Papa John's pizza. You can't make a soul pizza. I mean, this is where we are. This is what we do, and we're arrogant and proud about it. So that's not gonna last too much longer, y'all. And I know you see it. Those of you who can see, you can see it. Those of you can't see, don't worry about it. You'll run into it later. But I want to thank Rick Moon for sharing us with those 10 terms, those 10 words, and hopefully you can check them out and see what he's talking about, because they're not, none of those terms explains that you are a human person who deserves human rights.
Hey, I want to say a couple things before we left. If that's okay?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. As I'm sure that most people know, I'm also a member of FEAR, the Foundation of Indigenous. I'm forgetting the doggone thing. The Foundation of Indigenous America and Nostalgic Heritage. And I just wanted to say that we have a selection of products that's made only from us, for our people, and most of it made from nature. We have stuff like we have Liquid Life, we have Male Restore, which is for the males. We have Female Restore. We have Brain Restore, which is for the brain. We have all kinds of tinctures, like walnut and black walnut and stuff like that. Also sell shirts, clothing, stuff like that. Also, the ambassador, Redine, she also, her new book is out, The Black American Handbook for Survival Through the 21st Century is out now, and if anybody wants to get a copy of that, I am a distributor, so I can get you that. I can also get you the other products too. It might take me a little longer, but I could. And it wouldn't be fair if I didn't mention also get the African Americans Ain't African by Kerry Davis, another excellent read that folks should get on and get as quick as possible. There's any library should have both of those books. And with that, thank you for letting me say that, Indigenous one.
Anybody else who have any products or products made by Indigenous people, please let us know. We'll put them out there, man, because we have to start supporting each other. That's another thing we don't believe in. We have to start supporting each other. I mean, roaches support each other. Damn. We're not even into that. We don't even believe. I mean, seriously. And so what you're seeing an influx of foreigners come in. And I don't know what this dude that Trump is talking about. I don't know what country that is, but this country's that we never even heard before. The governor of Kentucky just sold some land to the Russians. Why can they do that? Because we don't claim it's ours. We claim that our land is in Egypt somewhere, in a desert somewhere. We claim that our land is in Morocco. We claim that our land is in Israel. This is how we look to the world. This is how we look. And arrogant about it too. I mean, the arrogance, you wouldn't believe. So this isn't for the people who believe in that. This is for the people who say, listen, y'all, the children that are born today, may not even have grandchildren, because you see how that's dwindling down now. We have took that lesbian homosexual thing and ran with it. Lesbian and homosexuals don't have children. That's the quickest way to kill you off your planet. Plus, your health is in control by other people. We got to stop playing, y'all. So I want to thank Rick Moon for coming on and sharing with us. Any last words you have, Rick?
Only thing I gotta say is just think about this program and what we're trying to put across, and also stay in touch with nature. And like I said, I hope we're gonna be able to do it tomorrow. I'll get into a little bit more. We'll get into a little bit more about nature, and we also hopefully we have a chance to meet Brother Hotep, Melvin L. Bay also.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna get them on. Also, too, really, the nature part. I talked about it a couple of weeks ago. You are nature. You come from nature. You come from a natural process. So you have to stay hooked on and tagged into that phenomenon. The natural world is cold-blooded, y'all, and it's not what you think it is. That's why you're kept away from it. That's why you're scared to go. That's why they got the movie theaters and you walking on concrete and stuff like that. They don't want you in these forests and stuff because you will see something that might shock your memory and put you back online. So for those of you guys who live in natural places like in the country and whatnot, please get into those more. Those who live in the cities, Los Angeles, New York, Chicago, get out into some of those natural places out where you live. This is African Americans Ain't Africans. Thank you guys for joining us, and we'll see you next time.